We cannot trust Nick Sirianni or the Philadelphia Eagles anymore. And that's a lot deeper of a statement than it superficially sounds or is written as. It's not just we can't trust them to win next week. It's we can't trust what they say. We just can't trust them. We're going to dive into this. Lots of Eagles banter and chatter today. Trending in the AM live with your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, and back on Twitter. Yes, Twitter is back with commenting and streaming. So we're live everywhere today. So make sure you hit that like button, that share button, that follow, that subscribe, wherever you're watching, retweet, reshare, repost, whatever it is. Make sure you hit those buttons, share it out, and get as many people in the conversation as we continue this week's conversation on our fantastic Philadelphia Eagles and just how fantastically not fantastic they are. I am your host, Phil Stiefel, as I am every single morning. You can find me on all social media platforms at Beard and Knowledge. If I'm on it, that's where you can find me. And I'm just glancing at the counter right now. Oh, my God, we got people watching all over today. That's great. Good morning, Mitchie Poo. How you doing today? I feel a little bit more chipper today. Yesterday morning, I was definitely a little down on my feelings after that Eagles game. Let a lot of frustrations out on the show, on social media, all over the place. I'm not saying I feel better about the Eagles, but it's not affecting my mood as much as it did in the past. Man, chatter, just now, Buffalo Radio. How did we lose to the Eagles? They are not really good. Well, that's why you don't go listening to Buffalo Radio. I mean, I know you're in Buffalo, but still, there's a lot of people that are saying that out there right now. How did they lose to the Eagles? Go Birds, Zach. Good morning. How you doing this morning? I hope you are well. So today, guys, as always, I spend a lot of time early in the week trying to come up with titles for this show, and I put the title of the show: "We cannot trust Nick Sirianni or the Philadelphia Eagles anymore." And there's a lot of different meanings in that title. We cannot trust them to just be the dominant team and win. The Eagles are 11.5, 12.5 point favorites next week, Christmas Day against the Giants. We can't trust them to win that game, to cover the spread. How the hell are the sports books putting them there? I have no idea. That's shocking enough. So that's part of the equation. Number one is that how can we trust them to just even win a football game? We can't. We can't go into games anymore with just straight blind faith that they're just going to win because they're the Eagles. We can't trust them in that sense anymore. I don't think we've on this show, outside of Marshawn last week against Seattle, I don't think we've regularly predicted an Eagles loss. And I know you can't really predict an Eagles loss against the Giants and Tommy DeVito, whatever. We'll get into the game on Friday. But we can't trust them. We can't just go in blindly anymore. No, we just can't. We also can't trust them in what they say. Obviously, we always hear the cliche, we're going to work hard, this, that. Well, they don't work hard enough. We can't trust them when they say we are lock solid in the locker room. A.J. Brown commenting yesterday more, fracturing the locker room a little bit more. Can't trust them there. Can't trust Nick Sirianni when he says Brian Johnson is safe. Well, he said that about Sean Desai. We don't know. We can't trust these people anymore. Had to get the MVP in right away for K1 there. Oh, wait, they have radios in Buffalo? I didn't even know they had radios up there. I thought they were living in igloos or something like that up there, Peanut. Who was calling plays on defense last week? I missed the game. It was Mr. Matthew Patricia. Matthew Patricia had some good moments, had some not so good moments. I was looking at the snap counts this morning because I never got to do it before yesterday's show. I didn't know who played when and where. And obviously, we know the injuries at linebacker. There was 100% of the snaps for Nicholas Morrow. We assume that. Shaq Leonard, who was going to be the other starter, only played 46% of the snaps. No other linebacker saw the field on Monday Night Football. Isn't that weird a little bit that nobody outside of Nicholas Morrow played linebacker? That they just ran one linebacker sets when we don't even have safeties? I don't know. It's just a weird thing that I noticed there this morning. You can no longer just go in and find a way. Eagles need to come up with a good game plan. Like, yeah, I think this is one of Mad Chatter's best comments in a long time. Kind of feel like the Eagles just thought they were better than everybody else and would have no problem just coming out and beating everybody. Well, I think they've learned the last 3 weeks they got to actually live what they preach. The work hard, to do this, to do that. The Marty party. Nick's days are numbered. Nick Sirianni's days are numbered. The locker room is not listening to his message anymore. And I remember his first year, Marshawn, when I was doing this just once a week. I talked all the time about T-shirt gate with my man Scooter over at Talking 215. Pandering to the players, pandering to the fans. How long would that last? Last year, swept a lot under the rug. I want to catch up on some comments, but I'm going to backtrack to this a little bit because Marshawn, I think I've got a philosophy or an idea on why we should be panicking and why we've overreacted in the past. Sidney Brown, he played a decent amount. Everybody's jumping on the Sidney Brown train, but I'm just going to say pump the brakes. I saw a bunch of missed tackles, and I also saw a bunch of bad angles taken at tackles. So Sidney Brown is still got potential, but he's not the end all. Our first Twitter comment in over a year. I'm so happy. What is up, Brandon? How are you? Can we trust Tobias Harris to score more than 3 points? I mean, we want to talk about Eagles trust. I've lost all my trust in Tobias Harris. And Brandon, you know me. I'm a Tobias Harris fan. I've been hyping Tobias Harris his whole time in Philly, giving him benefit of the doubt. The dude's taken like 10 shots in the last 3 games. Something insanely low like that. I'm just glad to see Twitter comments working again. It's been over a year. I'm so happy. Icy radios. Yeah, you got to probably thaw them out before you turn it on. I actually like that Sidney Brown was out there like a hybrid linebacker. Yes, he missed tackles, but it's so much better seeing young legs out in the perimeter. Yeah, this goes to the theory that I want to get to here in a minute. I'm working on it. I'm working on a theory, and I'm not even sure if I'm ready to bring this theory to the table. I still have full faith in the Eagles. I think they had the hardest schedule you can make. Time for a breather, 2 Giants and the Cardinals. And you know what? That is something we're going to talk about later this week for sure. The relaxed conversation that we're still right there. We're going to get to that conversation this week for sure, Mad Chatter, because I kind of feel like we are overreacting, but justifiably, but also we can turn things around pretty easily. My question is, who the hell do we replace Nick with if he hypothetically was to go? Look, I'm not. Yeah, there's people out there talking about getting rid of him, that Jalen Hurts isn't the real deal. I'm not ready to have that conversation, but I have a theory. I want to get caught up on questions. Zach, I'm sure there's an offensive coordinator out there. Absolutely. There's plenty of guys that would love to take Jalen Hurts' coach spot. Which one, though? Yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts on Hurts' leadership faltering? He doesn't seem vocal on the sidelines at all. I've used to like Brandon, his calm demeanor. But I've been actually even twisting my opinions and saying we need to see more fire, more excitement out of him. We do. So, Brandon, I want to see it, even though that's just not who he is. And that goes into this whole theory that I haven't touched on yet that I want to get to that might shock some people, might not. just goes right to the bench and sits alone after a series. But this week, he had to sit alone. He still was probably sick as hell. You don't want too many people. I can't wait to see the first practice this week to see how many people are out with an illness for them and for the opposing for the Seahawks. Matt Patricia will play the young guys, and he is in full audition mode right now. I agree with that 100%. Dime a dozen, Zach. Anyone from Shanahan's staff or McDaniels. What's up? How do you say that? Jamoro X. We gave sorry teams hope to beat us. Giants are playing fun football under DeVito, and the Cards are going to blitz us like crazy. We can no longer trust this team to win with no. Yeah, I mean, should they win? Absolutely. They should win the next 3. But we can't trust them and just blindly say Eagles by 30 or whatnot. That's the point. I want to make sure people understand that we cannot trust them. Yeah, there's some subtle digs that we can't trust what they say because of the whole Sean Desai, Matt Patricia thing. But we just can't trust them to get the job done. That's it. I said in the past, Jalen and Nick are corny with their cliches. Once they stop winning, people will tune them out. We discussed this 2 years ago. Maybe not you and me, but this show discussed this. And yeah. The question is, how do they react to this adversity? Because this is the first real piece of adversity that this team's faced since 2021. Yeah, Hurts giving me that Ben Simmons stoic. No, Brandon, no, get that. I'm disappointed that I turned Twitter comments back on now. I don't want to hear that. Don't ever compare Ben Simmons and Jalen Hurts. The Giants fan base will be super excited, ×2 chances to knock down the champs. Yeah, we're going to get the Giants all. We're going to get the Cardinals all. You don't think Jonathan Gannon had this game circled on his little bulletin board all year long? We're going to get the best. We've been getting the best of everybody all year long. But here's the thing. Talking about this theory that I got, jumping the gun and whatnot. 2020 happened. We all know what happened. Carson Wentz gone. Doug Peterson gone. Fine. We semi-anoint Jalen Hurts the guy going into 2021. But what did we all as Eagles Nation talk about before the 2021 season? That it was a rebuild/retool, right? Rebuild, retools, they don't happen overnight. They take time. Institute, bring in young players, groom people, figure out your system, whatnot. The Eagles were a victim of their own success. And that sped the rebuild, retool up. Forced Howie Roseman to go out and give bad contracts out to Darius Slay and James Bradbury. He was forced to do a lot of moves in a win-now situation because of our success. Technically speaking, we should just, 2021 should have been maybe a playoff year, maybe not a playoff year. 2022, the goal should have been to win the division, maybe make the playoffs again. 2023 was supposed to be that first year if Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni were the guys that we really had a chance. And it kind of got sped up. So we kind of tricked ourselves into believing who Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni were. And I'm not off the Jalen Hurts or Nick Sirianni bandwagon. I'm not. I am not off of it. But what I am is realizing that the excessive success that they had far too soon gave us and gave them a false sense of security, a false sense of hope, a false sense of who they were. I doubt that they stopped practicing or trying or anything like that. But maybe they start to smell themselves a little too much. This rebuild that was supposed to take 3 years after the Doug Peterson era happened in 1 year. No team makes the playoffs with $60 million in dead cap hit or whatever the number was when we had Carson Wentz's dead cap hit in 2021. But we had instant success because there was the unknown and the newness of what Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni were doing. Then you add in Shane Steichen, and it just blossomed really, really fast. Am I crazy to believe that the rebuild, retool that we were told was going to happen at the start of 2021 was still supposed to technically be going on? Just throwing a different angle at this. Hell, Going into the 2022 season, there was still talk about trading for Russell Wilson. There was still talk of making Jimmy Garoppolo our quarterback. There was still talk of Aaron Rodgers getting traded for to Philly. Some of those guys didn't want to come here. That's all whatever. But they were a victim of their own success. And maybe it blinded them. It blinded us. It blinded everybody to who this Eagles team really is. Something I've been thinking about the last 24 hours. These next 3 games are not gimmies with the way this team is executing, most importantly, turning on each other. And we're going to get into the turning on each other very soon here. There is no constant on this team, unlike the Niners. They have personnel and trust. The turning on each other, the locker room. What did I say? I brought up the analogy last week of a cracked windshield. You get that chip. You got to get it filled right away before the cracks start forming. Before you know, if you've ever watched a crack spread, it just starts fracturing off in any random direction. You never know where it's going to go. Well, that's what's happening with this Eagles team right now. That's not a good thing. Let me just tell you, definitely not a good thing. Phil, do you not see a pattern with the organization? Once they win or get to the Super Bowl, they don't have a plan. This organization is emotionally attached to their vets. Yeah. See, the thing is, I think some of these vets would have moved on by now if it wasn't for the turnaround, the success after the Super Bowl or after the 2020 season. You know, if we didn't get to the Super Bowl in 2022, or if we didn't even make the playoffs in 2021, things might be different now. They're a victim to an extent of their own success. Hell, Howie Roseman is a victim of his own success because of the fact that every time he does something good, it falls apart. He fixes it and gets right back to the Super Bowl. They're all victims of their own success. They're starting to feel like they're untouchable. They're starting to feel like they're unbeatable, unbreakable. Well, I think this last 3 weeks show them that's not the case. P.S. I would have had this Trent Cole coffee mug even if he wasn't an Eagle. Who has a Trent Cole coffee mug? They pay and play older players over younger, effective players. There's no reason Edwards and CJ shouldn't be on this team. Also, no reason you pay Jalen in the summer when he's under contract. Look, yes, the Jalen Hurts contract and Jalen Hurts' future of this team is 100% coming under question by a lot of people this week after 3 really bad weeks. I get it. You still got to pay him. Paying him is still better than the alternative of just bouncing around from journeyman. Like, would you rather Jalen Hurts and his contract that he's got, which isn't really affecting the team for another 2 years? I think 2026 is when his cap hit starts to take an effect. Would you rather Jalen Hurts in this contract, Marshawn, or would you rather Washington situation? Would you rather Atlanta's situation? Would you rather be in New England? You know, there's very few quarterback situations right now in the NFL actually better than the Eagles. I'm just going to say. Is Jalen Hurts perfect? No. Is Jalen Hurts earning his contract? Not at all right now. But I still prefer Jalen Hurts over any other situation. But the guy just got to the Super Bowl, so you can't. He earned that paycheck to an extent. This is what happens when you put players who are foreign to the concept of winning and team success. See, the thing is, all the young guys are from winning college organizations. We've drafted Georgia guys, Alabama guys that have been winning. So I don't know. Dan, what's up, my man? The tackling was bad. Yeah, that's an understatement of the day. This team has been so atrocious at tackling for so long now this year, even when we were winning. Do we question Nick Sirianni? I thought we questioned Nick Sirianni last year about his lighter practices, what he does in training camp, not hitting. I think they only hit and put pads on like 4 times all summer. I think last year he talked about, reimagine how he does things to keep guys fresher longer. I don't know. Maybe we have to question Nick Sirianni's preseason prep for the tackling issue, his philosophies. I mean, the tackling is, I mean, you see better tackling at a little league game. Definitely see better tackling at a high school level. There's some bad tackling, bad angles taken. Some guys just don't even want to tackle. They run in the opposite direction of the ball carrier. It's bad sometimes. For the record, I trust nobody to rebuild, retool this team more than Howie Roseman, I guess is what you're saying. And I agree. I get that. He's got a track record of success of rebuilding this team. And that's fine. But maybe we are blinded as fans and sometimes jump the gun a little too quickly with a lot of things. Hell, we'd given Howie Roseman Executive of the Year before the season even started. You're 10-4. You're paying your quarterback. Yeah. You get to the Super Bowl in his second year as a starter. You got to pay him. He almost won MVP last year. He's not going to win it now this year, but he is going to be in the running of it this year. I get you pay him, Phil, but when you have that many free agents and you are that close to win and you hold off, but there's no buyer's remorse in real life. I guess to an extent, the analogy with what you're saying would be how the Sixers are going to pay Tyrese Maxey. They just held off this year from doing it. This was the first year they could do it, just like this was the first year they could do it for Jalen Hurts. But they're holding off to give them more flexibility this year, to give them that window to try to win one more title. Well, one more. Get to a title. Get past the second round. I don't know. Just win the Sixers. So I guess there's that analogy there. But you kind of had to pay him. There's not many options out there. You had to show some commitment to him after what he did. I don't know. He doesn't need to earn his contract. They paid him already. It's different in the NFL. I mean, because it's not a guarantee, fully guaranteed. You know, you can cut a guy, you can get off the contract. That's not fully guaranteed. And I still think Jalen Hurts wants to be better. I still think he lives and breathes and believes his cliche sayings all the time. It's just not working. He needs to do something else. Hurts took a shot at the defense, if you listen to my opinion. Maybe. But we're going to get to A.J. Brown's comments because that's what I think, who I think took a shot at them. In today's NFL, where every quarterback throws 4,000 plus yards per season, there's no reason to pay them big salaries. It's supply versus demand. I would only pay linemen and wide receivers. That's what you would do. But that's not what the NFL does. The NFL pays quarterbacks. They could pay quarterbacks, linemen, and wide receivers. Everybody's trying to lock up their franchise quarterback long term. And yes, the contracts are insane for all athletes. Hell, Shohei Ohtani got $700 million. They're all money's insane in sports. But you got to, once you've got a guy that you think can lead your team for the next 5 to 10 years, you want to lock them up. Because your other options are looking at some of these other teams that have journeymen from going from one quarterback to the other. Look at the Raiders. Look, they had Derek Carr, and then instead of paying him, they moved on to Jimmy Garoppolo. And look how good that worked out for them this year. You know, the Colts, you know, they drafted their young guy, Richardson, but he got hurt. But they've been bouncing around from journeyman quarterback to journeyman quarterback since Andrew Luck retired all those years ago. Look at the Lions. Are the Lions in better shape because they're not paying a quarterback? They've got a same record as the Eagles. I would take the Eagles situation over the Lions. They're not paying a quarterback like the Eagles are. So, I don't know. You kind of got it. I'd rather have a set situation and a constant at quarterback than a rotation coming in and out. That's just my opinion. Yeah, now he gets to live stress-free as he plays for the most critical fan base in sports with a quarter Billy. Absolutely no reason to try to keep winning, right? I don't think he's not trying. I think you guys are overtaking that part of it. You want to say that maybe he doesn't deserve it? That's fine, but I don't think you can say that he's not trying to win. I don't think you can say that. They might have wanted to dangle the carrot a little longer. I don't know, guys. TMC, he was still under control. Pay him after. They gave him $255, and he had one legendary season. If he won us the Super Bowl, then you pay him, but the fumble cost us 7 points. Again, to counter it, you said this yesterday, and I said, the fumble doesn't happen if Isaac Seumalo doesn't have the false start on the play before. Just saying. And if you didn't pay him the 255 and he had another great season this year, you'd be paying him 295 next year. Remember, those salaries go up. I'd rather pay the guy and give him that vote of confidence, because by paying him, you're also giving them the vote of confidence. I believe in you. I believe that what you've done is not a fluke. Sometimes that validation of commitment, I don't want to say it makes you work harder, but makes you feel appreciated in life, which is good. If you always got the doubt in the back of your head, yeah, you might work a little harder, but you're going to constantly doubt yourself as well. The second you pay your quarterback, the likelihood of winning a Super Bowl drops like a rock. That's not true. The Chiefs have won a Super Bowl since paying their quarterback. Just saying. Bucks won a Super Bowl. The Patriots won Super Bowls paying big time quarterback. There's plenty of big time quarterbacks that get paid that win Super Bowls. Niners will be on the same boat when they have to pay Purdy, and we will see who's who at that point. I'm curious what they do with Brock Purdy for sure, because Brock Purdy is due for a big payday, especially if they make a Super Bowl run this year. Will we beat the Giants? Joe's saying. Joe, that's the conversation of the day. We cannot trust the Eagles. How they're 12.5-point favorites now. It's open to 11. Now it's all the way up to 12.5-point favorites. Get out of here with that. There's no way I'd be betting the Eagles and taking 12.5 points. Hell no. We can't trust them. We have to look with our blinders. We have to take our blinders off when we look at this Eagles team game to game. I don't even know much about the Giants right now, other than Tommy DeVito. Is Saquon healthy? Who's their wide receivers? Their tight end? Evan Ingram ever come? Not Evan Ingram. Darren Waller ever come back? I don't know. I don't know what Tommy DeVito's doing right now. But we got problems. Wouldn't have been 7 points to lose in the Super Bowl without him. So we don't pay him, and we keep all these old free agents and go into next offseason without a quarterback. Right back to being a great team without a quarterback. Exactly, Judd. I'm all on board with you. Paying him when they did, I was fine with it. It's almost one of Howie Roseman's specialties. Paying a guy before they hit the open market, so you get kind of a slightly discounted price. Because that's what you kind of did with Jalen Hurts. If you look, he's not even the second. I think he's like the fourth highest paid quarterback. By the end of this year, he might be the sixth or seventh highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And that's fine. Did we pre-anoint him one of the 3 or 4 best? Like we used to keep saying, it's Patrick Mahomes and Hurts and then everybody else. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's Patrick Mahomes and then everybody else. I know the Chiefs aren't winning right now, but Patrick Mahomes is still head and shoulders above everybody else. The Sixers would have won Game 6 if Tatum doesn't go off. He touches the ball every snap, and he got the 7 points back. But what have we said all year about Jalen? Bold on the ball, fam. Yeah. I get you. Brady was never the highest paid quarterback in the league. No, I know that. I know he wasn't, but he was still paid big-time money. Let's not act like Tom Brady was making running back salaries here. Everybody always makes it out that Tom Brady sacrificed so much. Tom Brady was doing just fine paycheck-wise. It wasn't like he was being disrespected by his contract. All right, I don't think he would have been playing if he was getting disrespected. We are splitting with the Giants. There's a damn good chance that happens. We need to break this losing streak, without a doubt. Let me tell you something. It's not a foregone conclusion that we break this losing streak this week. And anybody that thinks we do is lying to themselves that they can trust this Eagles team. This team and the 5 best free agents from that year don't win a Super Bowl with Mariota. Absolutely. This team is not 10-4 with 90% of the quarterbacks we could have replaced Jalen Hurts with. And I'm not saying anybody said replace Jalen Hurts. That's not what Marshawn was saying. But Marshawn was saying don't pay a quarterback that kind of money. If you don't lock a quarterback into big money, then that's what you're doing. You're going year to year and hoping to get lucky with a Brock Purdy. You're hoping to get lucky that your guy can fill in, and to do that also, you got to have faith that you've got a system and culture in place that has an interchangeable part at quarterback. That's what we think they have in San Francisco. If they don't pay Brock Purdy, We'll find out. But I'd rather have that locked down quarterback that I know is good, great, and go from there. That's the way the NFL runs. Brady was around the fifth. That's approximately where Jalen Hurts is right now. That's not being the fifth paid highest quarterback is not. I bet you Jalen Hurts knew that he wasn't going to be the highest paid quarterback for very long. He knew as soon as he signed Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, all those guys were going to sign bigger deals. He knew that. He accepted that security right from the get-go and that commitment. He knew he was never going to be the highest paid guy. Purdy was the last pick in the draft, and he's about to win MVP. McKee can throw for 148 yards against the Seahawks. Why would you – stop. No. Stop. Tanner McKee, we are not 10-4 with Tanner McKee as our quarterback. Just stop that right now. Are you guys trying to trigger me this morning? No way. It's such a baseless – yeah, maybe he could throw for 148 yards, but we probably lose to the Seahawks 30-10 if Tanner McKee's the quarterback. Like, seriously. This is one of the like I say, everybody's opinion matters, and it does. But, man, you're really trying to get under my skin with something like that. You could just plug and play quarterbacks anywhere across the NFL. It's not true. Mahomes has a very odd contract that varies. I read that. It is. And it wasn't like, what was it, like 10 years, like $450 million or something weird like that. It's not all that. There's a lot of good GMs do a lot of finagling. The same thing with Jalen Hurts. I remember really reading that Jalen Hurts' contract is really not $255 million. It's not a big cap hit till 2026, but I think in 2025 there's like a window to renegotiate and redo it. So all that money is just going to keep getting pushed down. He's not hurting the cap this year or next year at all. So I'm not worried about. So his contract isn't really $255 million, Jalen Hurts. Missed my point exactly. Having great linebackers and cornerbacks does not solve a problem if you've got Tanner McKee out there. And Jalen was still under contract. A lot of players are under contract. But stars, coaches, elite people in sports don't play out the last year of their deal. They just don't. Then you get stuck in a situation where you can't come to an agreement. He misses off-season OTAs because he's holding out. You franchise tag him. You piss him off. The slippery slope you go down. And hold on a second. Just go out and spend. I think they're paying Jalen Hurts like $10 million this year. Go take that $10 million and get TJ Edwards. Let's just say, take Jalen Hurts off, put TJ Edwards and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on this team, and put Tanner McKee as quarterback. And you guys honestly think that the Eagles are 10-4? That's a load of horse crap. Sorry, it is. What changed in the play calling on offense throughout the season? Nothing. It's been bad all season long. At first, we were just finding ways to win despite it. This team would have been 12-2 if Jalen doesn't throw picks to the Jets and the Seahawks. But they're still 10-4. Why I'm having to defend the Eagles today? I was trying to be the one anti-Eagles and negative on the Eagles, but this whole Jalen Hurts and blaming Jalen Hurts' contract on why we're losing right now, I think, is an asinine statement. K1, I don't know if you're going to jump in here on my side or not, but man, this is ridiculous. If every player playing shitty, we ain't going to pay him big or keep him around. You all act like we don't have draft capital too. I mean, we do have 3 picks in the first 2 rounds this year. Don't forget that. I would not take Herbert, Lamar, Dak, Josh Allen over Hurts, though. You would not take those guys over Hurts. So you're putting Hurts over those guys. That's fine. But yet you're also saying that this team would be just fine with Tanner McKee. So you're saying Tanner McKee, you would take him over paying Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott and Josh Allen too? Come on now. I don't like these. I don't like this. We didn't shoot ourselves in the foot with that contract. We didn't. The contract is a spot-on contract. Is worth 2 in the bush, brother. I don't know what's worth 2 in the bush, but yeah. We have draft capital, but this organization is only tied to the trenches, and that's why they drafted Davis over Hamilton, Nolan Smith over Branch. Capital means zero if you can't draft. So you're saying Jordan Davis is not a good player? I mean, yeah, Kyle Hamilton. I wanted Kyle Hamilton. They have a philosophy. Remember something. This philosophy won them a Super Bowl in 2017, got them to the Super Bowl last year. This is a philosophy that dates back to the Andy Reid era. And we went to 4 straight championships games and got to a Super Bowl in that era. This philosophy has worked. Most organizations, most fan bases would die for the success we've had over the last 25 years. We turned around Wentz's contract to get Jalen Carter. Exactly. So we can't question how he's doing big picture. We can question some of the decisions, but big picture, we can't doubt his philosophies. You agree to the linebackers, but that's the thing. You're paying those two positions. You're saying pay those two positions and not Jalen because anybody can plug and play at quarterback. That's what you're saying. This is getting out of control, this conversation. Lane Johnson gets most money next year at $16 million. I'm sure they'll renegotiate his contract again. He's had his contract renegotiated 14 times a year for the last 14 years. Take it easy. Take it easy. I can't take it easy. Kelsey might retire. I feel bad for Jason Kelsey. The fact that this might be his last year. This is sad. Good morning. Salute, Eric. How you doing? Slay third most paid. Slay might be gone. We've been drafting linemen since man discovered fire, basically. They created the wheel and then drafted a first-round lineman, basically. 10-4 with fraudulent activities is so comforting. But changing your quarterback, going hindsight and changing your quarterback, that doesn't solve anything. That's a fraudulent statement, saying that you could plug and play anybody. Hurts at 13.5 next year is making nothing. Exactly. He's getting paid pennies on the dollar. The contract is not what the problem is. We are not blaming Hurts' contract. We are just pointing out a trend in paying the quarterback and not winning the Super Bowl. But again, I point out that teams do win Super Bowls and get to Super Bowl with high-paid quarterbacks. And the fact is, Jalen Hurts is not getting paid big money right now. He got a nice signing bonus, and he's making barely anything. He's not even close to the highest-paid player on this team right now. So the contract, saying that the contract is the reason we have holes at linebacker, cornerback, safety, has no bearing because it's not the reason we don't have those positions paid. We have those positions with holes because that is an organizational decision to not value those positions. They value the offensive line. They value the defensive line. That's where they have their value at. Now, we can critique maybe you don't need to spend the $10 million on Fletcher Cox, even though he's having a great season, and you could have gotten a better linebacker, or maybe you can say that. You can say Brian Branch over Nolan Smith, sure. That's a big picture move, but you know what? We can have that conversation. But anyone saying Jalen Hurts' contract or paying a quarterback is stopping them from paying certain positions. That's not true. 2025, it's still going to $20 million. Just think about this. What we're paying Jalen Hurts over the next, remember, the Giants are paying Daniel Jones more money over the next how many years than the Eagles are paying Jalen Hurts. But the contract's the problem. I did not say that. I said for the members of the jury, missed exactly my point about the linebackers and cornerbacks. Everybody's jumping on this Jalen Hurts and contract thing. And it's not just in the comments. It's been all over social media now for the last 24 hours. Hurts is an elite quarterback. The contract is spot on. If anything, it's a cheap contract. If anything, he did the team a favor with his contract. That is my opinion. We have to band together and threaten the front office to allow the coaches to coach, threaten boycott, and affect their bottom dollar. Might save this team. We got to do something. But no, we're going. My buddies at another podcast, they're going out in front of the NovaCare complex tomorrow morning. They're going to do a live stream from the street, and they're going to support. They're going to pull the Trey Turner type thing for the Eagles. That's not the answer right now. That's not. I got asked to go, and I'm like, not happening. Bottom line, Jalen has to be better. He can cover up the defensive issue. Look, yeah, Jalen has to be better. This is not me saying Jalen Hurts has been a good quarterback the last couple of weeks because he hasn't. Hell, Jalen Hurts hasn't been a good quarterback for most of this year. We're winning despite him. We're winning despite coaching. We're winning because there is talent on this team. Yes, these last 3 weeks, our linebacker and quarterback issues have been exposed. But those linebacker and cornerback issues were fine against the Dolphins. We're fine against the Bills. We're fine against the I'm drawing a blank here. The Cowboys the first time. They got the job done then. Would you take a guaranteed 100 million in one in the hand or wait and gamble for 200 million two in the yeah, I don't know what I would do. I've never been approached with that kind of money. My point is if all of our players are Pro Bowl level like the Niners, we can't afford them next Super Bowl. I get that. But if you got a smart GM, we've kept a lot of high Pro Bowl level players and still paid the quarterback. I'm the one that wants to criticize Howie Roseman, but I'm kind of turning into the supporter of like you guys are forcing me to support these guys. 20 million. Yeah, we're making mom jokes this morning. I'm too tired for that. Yeah, 2020. Like you're just studying the whole contract. But absolutely. Philip going to have a stroke here. Maybe. I hope not. God forbid. You guys have totally thrown me off. Look, I even put my Festivus poll up 3 days early because I got a lot of problems that I got grievances to air all week. We're going to have a Festivus episode, maybe tomorrow or Friday, where we air our grievances. But I put it up early. All right. Yes, I have a Festivus poll because I am still a 20-year-old high school or college kid in my head. This year's inconsistent play is based on poor coaching decisions. Exactly. Jalen Hurts' contract is not why this team has been inconsistent the last 4 weeks. Not giving Jalen Hurts that contract doesn't change the poor play we've had the last 4 weeks. Jalen Hurts' contract, the decision to give him his contract, none of that has any bearing on where we are feeling-wise right now. So anybody bringing the contract into the equation is wrong, in my opinion. I spent $20 million on your yeah, stop. Pay those two positions to hold off on signing him since he's still under contract. What is wrong with that? There's a lot of things wrong because then you go into a free agent year, and I already explained it all. You go into it with a free agent, you struggle to get a contract done, you hold out, there's drama. You don't want drama. You pay your star. You pay your leader. Now, is he failing as a leader this year right now? Sure. But you still pay him. That's the way of the NFL. You pay your stars. I guarantee no one in LA is complaining about paying Justin Herbert, even though they're going to miss the playoffs. I bet you nobody in Cincinnati is complaining about paying Joe Burrow, even though they're not even he hasn't even played all year. Nobody's complaining about paying their other quarterback. Why? No one's calling for Patrick Mahomes or questioning Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, even though they've lost a bunch of games this year. Haven't been as good. But in Philly, we're questioning Jalen Hurts. We're questioning his contract and the decision to give it to him. As you should. The more we focus on the guys at the bottom, the coaches, the fundamental flaws, is a philosophy that needs to be changed. And this goes to the whole thing that I wanted to talk about, was did we jump the gun on the rebuild? We anointed Nick Sirianni the next great thing. We fell for his, what were we like, 18-1 after the Flowers speech, in the regular season for a stretch. I remember the numbers, whatever. We fell for all of it. We questioned it. Then we started winning, so we just kind of put up blinders to it. The fundamental flaws in the philosophies in this organization, coaching and in the GM, maybe they are wrong. But paying Jalen Hurts was not wrong. 13-5, yeah, I don't even want to think about the contract anymore. Graham makes a ton for an older guy. He does. Reddick should already be the highest paid. Thumbs down. So he shouldn't be. There's going to be a big decision to make there with Hassan Reddick. He's going to need a raise. So what you're based off of what Marshawn's saying, you don't pay a guy when he's got a year done. Hassan Reddick's coming up on the last year of his deal next year. He ain't going to play on a 1-year deal. He's going to hold out. He'll sit out. So then you got drama. Sometimes you got to give the extensions before the contracts are up to keep people happy, or trade them and move on. You're not trading and moving on from Jalen Hurts after last year. So you had to pay him. You might trade and move on from Hassan Reddick this year, but that's another topic for another day. One thing I never worry about is Howie's ability to massage the salary cap. I don't think he massages it. He does a little bit more to massage it. Um, he definitely has some very good number crunching ways about him. Laurie claims he wants points. If the run first makes that happen, along with winning, that should be what we're doing. So the problem is Laurie and Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Laurie and Howie Roseman, always meddling. If anything organizationally flaw is there, they don't let their coaches coach. GM should pick the players, manage the cap. The owner should worry about the bottom line and fill in the seats and whatnot. The coaches should be able to coach however they want. Run, pass, blitz, not blitz, whatever they want. But in this organization, that's not the case. Hell, I don't know if it's still true, but we've all heard the rumors in the past that, Howie Roseman gets to decide which players dress every game, and he writes the inactive list. I'm sure with some, input from the coaches, but I've heard that Howie Roseman has so much say in how he might as well just be the coach at this point. They value the trenches is the reason Kyle Hamilton is an Eagle. I agree. Jordan Davis might have a better career for all we know, but have you seen him in the fourth quarter? Fletch has more impact than him. 3 weeks ago, we were saying how great of a season Jordan Davis was having. Now, because we've lost a few, it's not good. Look, I get it. I wanted Kyle Hamilton. I'm still disappointed we didn't get Kyle Hamilton. And our defense would look a hell of a lot different with Kyle Hamilton out there. And maybe we would have found somebody else to fill the Jordan Davis role. Probably. And we would have had probably a strong rotation still. But I still say, you're saying Kyle Hamilton's better than Jordan Davis, fine. But a lot of teams would love Jordan Davis right now. Just saying. I got to get out of here. Have a good day. Good to have you too, Judd. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. K1, can he move on from contract? Everything is fine until they are not. Exactly. Look, the Eagles have fractured us. This happy-go-lucky morning show has fractured us into 1,000 pieces. We're fighting amongst ourselves. We are. It's all because of the Eagles losing. If Hurts wants the comments to stop, then he needs to get his ass in gear. No one has remorse for a guy making $255 to play like crap. Then blame. Right. I get it. He needs to be better. Absolutely. No doubt about it. He needs to be better. But it still was the right decision to make at that moment. Holding signs up saying analytics is destroying this team, let the coaches coach, make adjustments, will show them that the jig is up. Look, I don't know. Holding up signs just start more fractures and more comments and more. Can the players can it be a rule in your contract that every player from here on out that the Eagles sign that they have to deactivate social media? You got A.J. Brown out here. I don't know if you guys saw A.J. Brown's comments, and I'm going to read them. And I quote A.J. Brown, "I'm disappointed but not discouraged. I personally know who I am, what type of football player, how special I am. I've just got to focus on my job and being ready to play, trying to get our guys in the room ready to play. Everything else is out of our control. We run routes. We catch the ball. We try to make plays. Other than that, we can't control none of that stuff. As much as we don't like it, there's nothing we can do about it, bro." End quote. That's pointing fingers at the coaches. That's another Darius Slay, me conversation. I'm doing what I'm told to do. I'm great at what I do, even though you fumble and drop balls. It's a me thing. That's that windshield analogy. That crack just went from here and then had another little offspring. That's questioning what the coaches. That is a direct shot at Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni's offensive game plan. It might be a little shot at Jalen Hurts. I doubt it because him and Jalen are so close. But man, that's not a good look when your star wide receiver is saying things like that. Super Bowl team's biggest issue is you have to draft great. Yep. Just found out this week that Laurie's son is the. Yep. I think we talked about that already this week. Howie and Jeffrey's interference is trying to make this a pass first offense instead of what you have to win. Trickles down to the staff. Absolutely. Yet McCaffrey called the play before it happens on live TV. Ain't that? I saw that, Travis. I saw that yesterday floating around Twitter. Christian McCaffrey on the Manning cast, saying, "Oh, it's going to be a quarterback draw. Watch that tight end swing around to the left." Literally called every aspect of it. He said it was going to go to the left. I think it went up the middle. I think he was off by one lineman's butt that Jalen Hurts ran behind. That's not good when your offense is so predictable that a guy that's not paying attention can literally just look at a screen. Oh, guess what? This is going to happen here. That's how predictable it is. Phil last week, Brian Johnson didn't fumble the ball 3 times. Poor play. Look, I said it yesterday that I'm done defending Brian Johnson. I have no problem admitting I was wrong. I was wrong for not criticizing Brian Johnson. I'm ready to jump on the criticizing. I don't mind admitting I was wrong. Wait, what? Eric has breaking news. Where's Erica? Yeah, I don't think that's breaking news. Okay, I think there's sarcasm. We have drama. We have way too much drama right now. We paid our leader and we have drama. How funny how life works out. What player needs to step up the most other than Hurts? Okay, I was reading the first part. I'm like, Jalen Hurts, duh. Everybody, all 53 men and practice squatters and coaches, everybody's got to step up. There's not one person to blame. And the fact that you got people like AJ Brown and Darius Slay saying, "I'm doing my job. I can't tell you what everybody else is doing." That's not good. We need our leaders to step up in the locker room, not just on the field. We're not paying Reddick. I agree. Reddick's going to be a long way off. Facts. Hey, look, we spit facts on this show. Reddick signature moves thumbs down, sweaty as a sweat wipe. Look, maybe we overpaid and prepaid Josh Sweat too much too soon. Got to pay Landon. Got to pay. There's a lot of guys that got to get paid for sure. Jalen Hurts' legal team is unmatched. He puts his team in losing situations with 255 and walks away free and clean from fraud. Oh my God. You're trying. You're trying. Do we think that Laurie Roseman have say on player personnel for game days? Well, they used to. Under Doug, that was one of Doug Peterson's big issues. Not even able to set his game day roster. Just saying. Those guys I'll pay. Hassan can walk. If we are good at drafting the trenches, and we'll make, yeah, exactly. We draft defensive linemen every year, and it's big picture. It's worked. It's kept us competitive for a long time. Today's morning show is sponsored by Jalen Hurts' legal team. They're actually sitting in the corner over here, and they're holding up signs for me, like flashcards on what I have to say and when, just so you know. Reddick is the best edge NFL. He very well could be right there in the top 3 for sure. How did things get so far? It's so unfortunate, so unnecessary. I think this is spot on. How did we get here? How did we get here? That might be a title for a show. How did we get here? I love getting ideas for show titles from you guys. Today's show title isn't helping the algorithm. Today's algorithm is dropping off. I don't know how many likes, but we haven't hit 20 people watching live on YouTube once yet. Self over team from our leader. Slay can go. AJ on thin ice. Said it the day we signed him. Yes. When will the Diva show? Well, that comment from AJ Brown is a problem. There's a disconnect between the players and our fan base. They don't realize how much we love this team. Maybe there's something to that, Eric. I thought AJ is always open. He wasn't open on Monday. Yeah, AJ's not always open. He's normally able to outmuscle the defender, though. I agree. Stay off social media. Stay locked in. Let your play talk. Social media and NFL players is just, it's a bad mix, man. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I mean, we literally 3 weeks ago, we were up here. Now 3 weeks later, we're way down here. Well, according to Phil, Brian Johnson can do. I don't know what he can do. I was calling it, and my wife thought I was genius. I told her a 12-year-old who plays enough Madden could have called this. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. It's tough, man. It's tough. Reddick is good. He's very good. He's elite. I need Jack Stoll to step up. Yeah, that'll save it all. Come on, Eric. We fired Andy Reid. Sirianni can find talent in Miami. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. I'm sorry. I think everyone forgets that AJ has an issue of drop balls. Fumbles are pretty new, though. Yeah, I agree. The fumbles are a surprise because he's supposed to be stronger than everybody else. Trying to catch up here. How he still has player game day rosters. That's accurate, and that's wrong. I mean, this goes back to the story of Doug Peterson being called into the principal's office after beating Green Bay. I forget what year it was, 16, 17, somewhere around there. He got called into the principal's office. But Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, you ran the ball too much today. He's like, we won, but we want you to pass more. That's the organizational flaw. That is, if I'm going to put my finger on any organizational flaw, it's Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, two in on the decision making. Fraud allegations is a frowned upon offense. No, I mean, you're right. You're right. You are welcome to have your opinion if you're going to call somebody a fraud. I'm just going to disagree when it comes to Jalen Hurts. We need new corners and for Sidney Brown to play linebacker. I don't know if Sidney Brown's big enough to play linebacker, but I get what you're saying. Misery is inevitable in Philly sports. It's a Philly thing. That's why when we win, it's so much more passionate and so much more better. Because when we win, we appreciate it so much more. I mean, it's the truth. Every show title should be a Godfather reference. Yeah, should it? I'll try to find a Godfather reference for a show somehow. You would have 4 wins if it wasn't for AJ. Don't get it twisted. We would have 4 wins if Tanner McKee was our starting quarterback. Just saying. Maybe not even 4 wins. What I don't understand is Hurts is AJ first. That's his read. That is a problem. And that's something I wanted to dive into this week. We haven't really been into it. Why is Hurts AJ? Why does he zone in? Is it because that's all Hurts knows how to do? Or is it because the play calls just keep going there? If it's a play calling thing, that's on Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson. If it's because Jalen Hurts doesn't know how to get off of A.J. Brown, that's what she said, then that's that problem. Oh, my God. It's a problem. Yeah. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole again. So AJ should switch his locker room sign to closed for business. Maybe 49. You've been saying the 49ers are fraud all year. Well, let me tell you something. 49ers, in my opinion, at this moment, December 20th, 2023, are my pick to win the Super Bowl at this point. They're unstoppable right now. I need a friend like Phil to defend and support me like he does Jalen. It's not that I'm supporting Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has been bad. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But I'm not going to say that we made a mistake giving him the contract when he definitely was not a mistake. Instead, AJ fired back at us Twitter fans and Twitter comments about what we should. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I have a problem with. I hate when we get chirped at on Twitter like that by the fans. Players just stay off of social media. People don't realize how toxic Philly relationship with the sports teams. But there's also a reason, Duck, why so many athletes, okay, they play here. They don't finish their career here, but they come back to Philly. They do. Because we're toxic, for sure. But they love us. They love our passion. You don't get this kind of passion in any other city. Well, maybe a few, but not really. Use the other guy, Devontae Smith. We should use him a little bit more. What's up, Matt? Mac, how you doing? Unload Bradbury Slay. Bring back Frank. Play calling is an issue. AJ is too good with Yak. That's the thing. We don't get him enough Yak opportunities for sure. Be having him run down the field almost every play. All accurate things, except for the Frank thing. What has Frank Reich done outside of 1 year? Let's be honest. Maybe Frank Reich's not the end all, be all. Just saying. Everybody loves Frank Reich, but he bombed in Indy, sort of. He bombed in Carolina, sort of. So, track record's not going so well for Frank Reich, just saying. I hate that Hurts doesn't say anything to the coaches. He just listens. I've been saying it for 2 or 3 weeks now, Nick. It's not Nick. It's Near. Sorry. Sometimes the names, I can't see them on the screen. I thought it said Nick. It's Near. I want to start seeing some passion, some excitement, some emotion from him. I do. 49ers, give me a break. Bills are getting the Daquan Jones back. Stop. Vince Lombardi called his power sweep play constantly. Everyone knew it was coming, and they couldn't stop it. That's how a great team executes. Eagles are undisciplined and don't execute. That's on Nick. And we might have been – if I'm going to say anybody. Like, instead of saying it's Jalen Hurts' fault or we overpaid him too soon, I'm going to say we anointed Nick Sirianni the leader of this team for the next 10 years far too soon. That if anybody's on the hot seat, it should be Nick Sirianni, not Jalen Hurts. It took full 14 weeks to abandon Brian Johnson. We only have 3 weeks left. Maybe he changes his tune on Jalen. I will not change my. I don't care what happens over the next 3 weeks. I'm not changing my tune on Jalen. Not this year. Now we're having this same conversation next year. Bookmark that comment, and maybe I will, but not this year. I came to appreciate your fan base more and more. Look, we're a passionate fan base. We are. The problem is AJ is running down the field. He's a knife to the heart of the other teams on the slant. Exactly. They need to do it more. What has Frank done after 1 year? What has Jalen done? I didn't say after 1 year. I said, what has he done after the 1 year he was here that he had success? All right. You're changing my words. He didn't have success in Indy. He didn't have success in Carolina. Just saying. Maybe he's not the end all be all. But if we win with the run and short passes, Harry and Jeffrey will complain about not winning with the deep pass. Yeah, that's what will happen. I like how Hurts leads by work ethic, but I don't believe him to be a real leader. Seems to be, as he lost the locker room. I don't know about losing the locker room conversation yet, especially with him throwing the team under the bus for his screw-ups last game. I don't know if he really threw the team, but yeah. Anointing someone to be your leader and paying someone $255 to be your leader is not the same. All right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Look, we're going to reset real quick. Trending in the AM, right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Twitter's back. If you're watching on Twitter, there are people watching on Twitter. You can comment. Click on the video. The comment section pops up. We've already had a few Twitter comments today. I'm glad to have Twitter back into the commenting game so everybody can watch. So share, like, subscribe. Find me on all social media platforms. And right back to the show here, trending in the AM, Philadelphia Sports Network. Guys, power rankings. I want to show them. We don't have to spend too much time on them. I don't think anybody cares other than me about my power rankings. But I do. I got to find them first. There they are. Power rankings, Week 16 edition. Where am I at? Well, let me tell you where I'm at. I dropped the Eagles all the way down to 10. I think I'm a little overreactionary on this, but 49ers 1, Ravens 2. Don't think there's any argument to be made there. Dolphins 3, maybe a little high, but the Cowboys losing the way they did, I had to bump them down. Lions, Chiefs. I guess I could have flip-flopped them a little bit, but I didn't. Browns. Something about the Browns, man. If they're winning with Joe Flacco, god damn, that proves the comments that you can plug and play any quarterback and win if you got a defense. But they're paying their quarterback in Cleveland. Their quarterback's hurt and not playing, and they're still winning. So make that one make sense. I have no clue how. The Bills, I put back up a little bit. The Bengals winning despite they're paying their quarterback and they're winning with their backup. I dropped the Jags out. The Jags are pissing me off. Colts, Texans, Bucks. They're my honorable mentions. That's my power rankings for the week right there, guys. Our defensive stars can fix this team. 7, 94, 90, and 98. I don't think we talk about Josh Sweat being overrated maybe or not. Like, everybody loves Josh Sweat. He makes a lot of mistakes too. Frank didn't get a chance to show what he could do after the Super Bowl because, yeah, he got the chance to go higher. And once he went higher, he failed. Just saying. Ravens. Yeah. Well, look, the Ravens are best team in the NFC or AFC right now. I don't think there's an argument to be made there. I don't think anybody can compete with the Ravens. We might have a Super Bowl repeat. 49ers versus Ravens. Bro, I just found out how to naturally clear. Yeah. Well, I need to know how that happens. Send me a message. He goes, that's why the MVPs sit here in the tissue box every day. Thoughts on my power rankings? Like them, love them, don't. Let me know. That's on you. Are the Eagles the 10th best team? Yeah, they're probably better than the Browns, the Bills, the Bengals at this point. They've beaten the Bills. They've beaten the Chiefs. They've beaten the Cowboys and Dolphins. But after this, how can we trust the Eagles to be better? Like, we cannot. In the last 3 weeks, we have not seen a single thing that proves to me that they're better than any team. Like, I almost dropped them out of the top 10. I almost did, just to prove a point. This Giants game is so boring next week with a huge lead. This Giants game next week should be so boring and pointless. Okay? It should be. It's Christmas. We should be able to take it off, easy, relax, but we can't. This team has screwed everything all up for us. How Jordan Davis get off the line good, then stops? Have you, I'm just saying, seen how Jordan Davis gets off the line, then stops? No, I have not noticed anything negative about Jordan Davis, honestly. I see your next comment. Yeah. I have not noticed. I think Jordan Davis is fine. I think there's too much negativity. There's a great YouTube video, Flemlow RPAs, about being the year of the backup quarterback. It seems like it. It seems like it. You look at this top 10, you got 49ers, unpaid top quarterback. Ravens paid their guy. Dolphins paid their guy. Cowboys, Dak. Lions, not paying. Browns, backup quarterback. Bengals, backup quarterback. Colts, backup quarterback. Bucks, whoever. Texans, backup quarterback right now. You can't tell me it's play calling because Jalen Hurts abandoned the play because he has no pocket presence. It's like he panics too soon. We definitely saw it. Let me take this power rankings off the screen real quick there. We definitely saw it on Monday night. The play where he zigzags back and forth around the field, then throws an incomplete pass, Travis. There was wide open players, and he had a perfectly clean pocket for at least 5 seconds, but 2 seconds in, he took off. Jalen Hurts didn't do that last year. Now, the question with Jalen Hurts isn't, was he paid too soon, like some would say. The question is, has he regressed, or has something changed in him mentally that he's not reading the field as well, that he doesn't have the confidence, that he doesn't have the patience that he used to? Is it the knee? I don't know. Is it something he's being told? I don't know. Does he not have confidence in the plays that are being called? I don't know. Well, there's something with Jalen Hurts this year that he is not reading the whole field like he got better at doing last year. He's panicking way too soon on far too many plays. It's time Davis shows out when it matters. This is how stars show their face. Yeah, it's like a couple of weeks ago, Jordan Davis was playing. I think there was a game. I think it was the Bills game. Played like 68% of the snaps or something like that. Had a really good game. I don't know what's happened to him the last couple of weeks. Whether he's worn down or what, I don't know. Tanner McKee comes in and pulls a Nicky Foles, and we have a quarterback controversy. Stop. It's Flemlow Rap. Sorry. I don't know who that is. TMC love Phil Power Rankings. I'm glad you approve. That means I'm good. By the way, Tanner McKee pulling a BDN is actually a joke. I hope so. But some people might not think that. Bet you Liam would love to see the McKeesters out there. I feel he peaked last year. He doesn't seem to trust the O-line, looking like year one Hurts. I don't know if he's peaked last year. I think that's the wrong, just my opinion. I think I know what you're saying. I think the word peaked last year is wrong, because saying he peaked last year means he's already on the decline in his career. And I don't think that's the case. I think he just exceeded expectations so high, he was never going to live up to that again this year. He was a 15th ranked quarterback in my mind after 2021. 2022, he became one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. That's a huge gap right there. When realistically, maybe he's the 7th or 8th best quarterback in the NFL, which is a big difference between being the 2nd best and the 8th best quarterback in the NFL. I would still take him over a lot of other guys right now. I'd still take him over Dak Prescott right now. I'd still take him over Justin Herbert right now. Just saying. So you're saying Hurts is going down the Wentz road? I hope not. Had a great season and then an injury, and then it goes down the drain. I don't think he's going down the Wentz road. We can only hope and pray that he's not going down the Wentz road, because that would be a big issue if he's going down the Wentz road. Huge issue if he is. Somewhere in between? I don't know. This is a road we've never traveled down before. We've never seen a quarterback go from 21 Hurts to 2022 Hurts. So we have no idea where 2023 Hurts is going to fall. Tanner can get some tan on the bench. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Tanner McKee, yeah. People love their third string quarterbacks for some reason. If you're a conspiracy, I see this. I just see the word conspiracy theory and like my eyes light up. I'm not, but I love reading about conspiracy theories, but I don't believe them most of the time. So let's see what this comment from Matt says here. Would you think this is a setup for viewers and money in the NFL NFC? Top three teams creating this type of storyline. I see all three teams finishing the same record. So this is not a conspiracy theorist comment. This is the NFL script writers' theory that this has all been planned out ahead. That the whole season was written by Vince McMahon and his writing team. That's what you're saying here. No, I don't think so. I don't. I love it. I think it's hilarious. I make the script writers jokes far too often on Twitter, but no, I do not believe in them whatsoever. Just saying. Hurts is sick and being aggressive. He could be suffering from Ebola, and we're blaming him. Yeah, to an extent, I do want to give Jalen Hurts a little bit of a pass on Monday night. Problem is, if we have to give him a pass, then maybe he shouldn't have been playing. Travis, maybe I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking of right now. That maybe you got to give him a pass, but if you're going to give him a pass, he shouldn't have played. The players spend week reading script. Yeah, exactly. Actually, both teams that are playing each other, they meet secretly underground before every game to rehearse every move that's going to happen. I'm going to push you. You're going to go in motion. I'm going to trip and fall. It's all planned out. The surgeries that the injured players have, they're just fake surgeries. When they're in a hospital bed getting prepped for surgery and they post on social media, that's just fake. It's just fake nonsense. He never leaves his men out there like a warrior. That's fine. I get it. So on one side of my head, I want to protect them and say, yeah, all right, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He was sick last week. He wasn't sick 2 weeks before that. On the other hand, I'm like, if you're going to go out there, you better once you step on the field, you can't use any excuse. That's all I look at it, or at least I try to look at it that way. I'm not sure if it's the right way to look at it or not, but that's how I do. I mean, what would be worse thing than to let Tanner get some numbers on the stat sheet? We are already in the playoffs. Sit Hurts if he's so beat down. Why not help him rest and recover? Sorry, I no. No. You want to sit Hurts once the games are meaningless? It's fine. You're still trying to win the division. You're still trying to get a home field advantage, through some of or the whole playoffs. Still far too much on the line. If he's hurt enough to sit, then just sit him because he's hurt. Not because you're trying to get Tanner McGee some reps. No, stop. If Tanner McGee ever has to play meaningful minutes in Philadelphia, that means we went down the Wentz road again. That's all I'm going to say. I don't like this script. Get a rewrite. Yeah, exactly. Vince McMahon was, so well known for tearing up the Raw or SmackDown script 30 minutes before the show was live show was starting, rewriting the whole thing. That's what we want to do, right? We need to tear this script up. Even though we're 14, 15 weeks into the season, tear it up. I don't like this script. This is not an Oscar-winning script right now at all. He said it's the offense's fault we're not committed enough. Did he say he said we're not committed enough? And we haven't done, Travis, and I'm glad you brought the committed enough thing up because we haven't spent nearly enough time. We only got 15 minutes right now left today. Who's not committed enough? When Jalen Hurts said that, now I brought it up on Twitter, and Jen, a girl I went to elementary school with, she commented saying you can't blame what Hurts said in the post game because he was so sick he didn't even want to be up there. It's fine. But when you say something like we're not committed enough, and then he's asked about it again, well, who do you mean or what do you mean? And he just blows off the edge. Like when you say something bold like that, that's not the windshield spreading a crack slowly. That's taking a sledgehammer to your windshield. That's picking up a 2x4, flipping it like the Rock did in that movie with the 2x4, smashing the windshield. That's what you're doing. Who's not committed enough? I need to know. Is it the players aren't committed to the coaching staff and their game plan? Is it the players aren't committed enough to the play calling? Is it the players are not committed to each other? If it's players that aren't happy with their contracts that aren't committed. What do you mean that the players aren't committed enough? That we're not committed enough? That is such a bad statement to make. I don't care how sick you are. I don't know. It really, really, because so many other players are saying stupid stuff on social media. I almost feel like the "we are not committed enough" comment is to an extent floated under the radar far too much this week. Has it? I don't know. It's frustrating. I'm worried. That comment worry out of all the things we talked about this week, yesterday, today, all those things we've talked about on social media. This hasn't gotten talked about enough, and this worries me about the long-term future of this team as it's constructed today with the Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts linked together situation. This comment scares me more than anything else. I could go back for the ball and catch like it really matters, like it's my baby flying in the air. Hurts couldn't define committed, so I don't know he knows what he meant by that. Now, that might be the case. And I get what you're saying. Maybe he was just sick and words weren't coming out right. He's so good with his words normally. Maybe that was part of it. Or maybe he said it and said in his head, oh, crap, I shouldn't have said that. Maybe because he was sick, his filter was taken off for a second. He's trained himself to be filtered, to be very politically correct on everything he says. Maybe he had a momentary lapse, said something he felt, didn't mean to. And he's like, shit, I better not define what this means. But the cat's already out of the bag. Walking tall, that's right. One of those, look, for some reason, I kind of feel like the Rock's movies before The Rock was famous, when he still was referred to starring The Rock instead of starring Dwayne Johnson. Walking Tall, the one with Sean William Scott's, where they're treasure hunting, the Stifler dude, that was a better, like that movie and this movie, way better than current Rock movies. I haven't seen Black Adam, but I'm assuming Black Adam is terrible. Um, I mean, if they're not committed, why not speak up being the strong leader? Yeah, I mean, that's what I want. I want Jalen Hurts to call out who's not committed. That's what he needs to do. Hurts means nobody is trying to win a damn football game. No one is tough as he is. AJ and Watkins can't run the same route. Part of it, maybe. Still bothers me. You don't say something like that. If a team in a locker room are as close knit and tight as this Eagles locker room was supposed to be, nobody's commitment should be questioned. Oh, I don't think I've seen one single person say it was a good movie. And you know what? It was a movie I wanted to watch because I tend EOP superhero movies. I was a superhero fan growing up, comic books, cartoons, whatnot, action figures. But I tend to like the movies better of the comic books and the cartoon and the characters that I wasn't big fans of growing up, or some of them that I didn't even know of. Okay, like Guardians of the Galaxy. I knew who they were, but I had no basis. Like every Spider-Man movie, I'm uber critical of. Every Superman movie, super critical of. But Black Adam, I didn't even know who Black Adams was. Honestly, Guardians of the Galaxy, I knew they existed. I had no idea who they were. Those are kind of things that Ant-Man, stupid movie Ant-Man, didn't have high expectations. So I enjoyed it more. But when you get to Captain America, Spider-Man, Superman, I'm going to be critical. So that's why I wanted Black Adam to be a good movie, but everyone says it was god awful. AJ run a go route when it should have been a curl. Watkins not looking back for the ball. Look, Quez Watkins, man, it's got to go. Laurie owns a movie production company in LA. He does. He cares more about winning Oscars. He's got more Oscars, I think, than he does Super Bowl trophies. I actually think he cares more about that than this, but I'm not going to question Jeffrey Lurie right now. Lurie literally produced V.I. or Shaw starring Kathleen Turner. Is that the one he won his first Oscar for? He has a quarterback ever played as inconsistent as Jalen Hurts and ever come back to be the guy later on his career? That is an interesting question. I'm going to write this down. Finding a QB with Hurts career ups, downs. I hope I understand that, Travis. I hope I understand the half written note there. is Black Adam. Black Adams. Check out his IMDb. Who's IMDb's page? Jeffrey Lurie. That would be interesting. Hertz is Carlo in The Godfather. Is he? I don't know. I'm watching DC Titans. Oh, is it good? I hope it's good. Was it Tatalia or Barcini? Did you guys did I say them right? I don't want to get in trouble for mispronouncing an Italian name. Tatalia and Barcini. Did I say them right? X-Men I stopped watching. Wolverine is my favorite. The first X-Men movie was great. The second one, X-Men 2, fantastic. X-Men 3, the Wolverine movies, some of them were good, some of them were eh. Um, but I was very critical of X-Men. I had X-Men figurines growing up. You know, it was Barcini all along. We do a lot of Godfather quoting. We got to do more Sopranos quotes over Godfather. I'm a big Sopranos fan. We got to work the Sopranos crew into this thing. Doesn't like having his intelligence insulted. It makes him very angry. Angry is I don't like the word angry. Okay, well, I'm never angry. I'm upset sometimes. I'm fired up sometimes. I'm passionate. Never angry. Phil is thoroughly surprised and annoyed that he is the lead attorney. Exactly. I didn't think I was going to be here defending everybody all day long. Honestly, I never know where this show's going to go. That's what I love about this. I have an idea every day. It's like the windshield crack analogy. I crack the windshield, and where the crack spreads, I have no idea. But it spread today where I actually had to turn into the supportive, the defender. I'm not part of the Defenders, terrible TV series. Nice K1. I caught that, unlike AJ. Yeah. Transformers 1 is the best Fox E-Fable. Look, I was a Transformers fan growing up, massive. Love the Transformers as a kid. The movies have been not so great. The first one wasn't bad, but overall, I thought the movies were pretty much all the ones I've seen. I stopped caring about watching them a long time ago. But that VHS tape in the mid '80s, it was like a Hasbro, um, basically walking advertisement. I watched that VHS tape so many damn times. Loved it. Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were my top two things growing up. And then Superman. Always a Superman fan, massively. And Spider-Man. Young kid, bullied, kind of just resonated with me. Being able to take my bullies down kind of thing. I rarely watch thought-provoking movies. I have adult ADHD. Um, yeah. I just don't like long movies because it's hard to sit through a whole movie. It's also why I don't go to movie theaters, Mister. I can't sit in a seat for 2-3 hours straight. Sitting at home watching, you can hit pause, get up, walk around, stretch your feet, and then right back at it. The crack spreads is crazy. It is. Today's cracks have spread all over the place. The algorithm was off today, but the cracks spread all over the place. The new Transformers movie is good, and now they're going to cross over with G.I. Joe. I had a lot of G.I. Joes growing up. I didn't like G.I. Joes, but I had a lot of them growing up. I grew up a Philly sports fan. I don't trust easily. Yeah, I don't. I get it. I get it. I get it. Smallville was great. He should have worn the cape red and blue. So Smallville started out great, Travis. The first few seasons of Smallville was a great show. And then it got weird as it went on. I don't know. I lost interest in it somewhere around season 4 or 5. I forget when. And I went back and I watched the series finale when it happened. And then obviously I saw Tom Welling's cameo in Crisis on Infinity Earth, the Arrowverse crossover. It was good to see him back. And I know he kind of sort of wore the cape. Did he wear the cape? I know he was flying away at the end of the series, but I forget now. But it started off great. Started off very great. K1, it's a Philly thing. It is. We are. This show is a Philly thing. You can't be a member of the Core 12 if you don't have it on ADHD. Maybe I have it too. I don't know. I never got into the DC outside of Batman. I was always a Superman and a little bit of Batman. That's all I really cared about in DC, honestly. I never was an Aquaman fan. The Flash was okay. I mean, Arrowverse Flash, Grant Gustafson, or however you say his name. I liked him. I liked that TV show at first as well. The Arrow at first. All the superhero shows, they're great at first, and then they run too long. Halo series now is awesome, but they're slow to make them. I've never seen any of them. I've never even played a hero game in my life. I see the comment, Marshawn. I see it. I see it. I saw it. I love it. Always got to bring the Godfather back into it. Always. When I want to see more Sopranos quotes, guys. I watch a lot of reels of the Sopranos, but man, I want to see it. I never played Halo either. Never. Batman, the animated series, is the greatest comic book adaptation ever created. It is very good, and I've heard a lot of people say that for sure. I have issues with Halo show. Master Chief should not be out of his helmet that much. Don't even know what you're talking about. That, boom, right over the head. All right, guys. We're to the final five. Well, actually, less than the final five. Oh my God. Stop. I'm not going to even say it because you're just triggering me to mispronounce the name. You definitely have adult ADHD, Phil. It's your superpower. It must be. But in my day and age, you didn't get diagnosed with ADHD. You just were a kid with a lack of focus. Maybe that's my problem all my life. Maybe that's been the problem. Maybe I should have been on meds for it to focus my energy better. I don't. Anyway, that's another story. We're going to start the wrap up process here. Super my fault. I like double P's. Don't know that. Anyway, guys, what are we going to talk about tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe we might start our Festivus series tomorrow. So make sure you're bringing all your grievances to the table tomorrow. Phillies, Sixers, Eagles, Phillies, Flyers. I watched like 15 minutes of Flyers action last night. Anything you've got grievances with, except for me, bring them to the table. And we'll start our Festivus grievance airings tomorrow. They'll probably carry into the next day. Got more things on my note list here that we haven't gotten into. I'm going to cross off some, going to keep some. I'm going to try to do, if I have time, I'm going to Topgolf for an event this afternoon. I'm going to try to find some time to look at Travis's comment about finding a quarterback with Hurts's career trajectory, up and down like it so far. I'm going to look into it, but not sure if I'll come up with an answer there. I forgot about Scotty's comment here. My man Scotty from DSM. Eagles are childish tweet. Forgot about that. Got to get back to that. Man, so much I haven't tapped into, but we'll get tomorrow going. Kate was selfish. She encouraged her son to be a singer. Master Chef. Phil, let's be honest. You would have just sold your Adderall script to a school. No, I would never have done that. Is that what you take for it? I don't even know. No more Eagles talk. No, can't do it. Can't do it. How come they never made a TV series about the Philly Mafia? Guess we're too explicit for television. Maybe. I would share my pizza money with the chat in the Court 12. Yeah, that's right. Word is bond. We can talk James Bond if you want. Eagles will be fine. Crybabies, just watch. Something just I just said word is bond, made me think of James Bond. And then I saw a rumor that they're going to have two James Bonds in the next movie. Well, two 007s. They're going to have a 007. They're going to reboot it. They're going to have a 007. That 007 will probably die. And then James Bond will come over and take over the moniker. Something out there. I don't know. Just thinking about James Bond. I'm a big James Bond guy. I love James Bond. Wait till the next James Bond movie comes out. Man, who gets the big puss treatment? I don't know. You are like a brother to me. Not in the eyes. Please let me keep that. Man, I think that he was one of the most underappreciated characters on The Sopranos because him ratting changed the trajectory of the character arcs for so many people. The lack of trust that Tony had, man, it changed so much. I love the character. Go Frauds, Here Before I Forget. Yeah, of course. Thanks. Appreciate it. Die Another Day is not the best Bond movie. Are you trying to trigger me? That don't even make my top 10 Bond movies. I could do a whole show for 2 hours talking about James Bond. Nah. That they did have two. That's right. Did they give her? Yeah, she did because she wanted to relinquish it and give it back. That's true. Well, I think from the rumor I read, it was an article from a British newspaper or tabloid. They're going to flip it. She took the moniker from James Bond. From what I heard, they're going to flip it and have James Bond take it from somebody else. That's at least what I read. I forgot about that. The last one, Live Another, Die, whatever. It wasn't my favorite. I liked it. It was a good swan song, but it wasn't my favorite. I was really disappointed in Malum Ryak, or however you say his name is, the villain. I had such high hopes for him being the villain, but yet I don't think he had a very well written character. Shaken Never Stirred, or was it Stirred Never Shaken? He likes it shaken, not stirred, but a real martini is stirred. Uh, Man, I don't know. Getting shot in the chest, not the eyes. Tessio went out like a get me off the hook for old time's sakes. Yeah, go Birds. Can't do it. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. I missed a few comments here. Bonds is like Seagal, can't get a scratch on him. Pierce Bronson is the only Bond actor we should talk about for being the most overrated Bond character. Sure, that's all we could talk about with him. Most overrated James Bond. I like it, but most overrated. Anyway, trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're out for the day. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Back on Twitter, guys. If you're watching on Twitter, thank you. Retweet, repost, whatever it's called. Facebook, YouTube, like, share, subscribe, follow. Back tomorrow, another episode. Maybe I'll get the algorithm right tomorrow. Y'all have a good day. Sort of go Birds. Once I'm out, once I think I'm out, they pull me back in. That's what you guys do to me every single day. Guys, have a good day. Go Birds, go Sixers, go Phillies. We'll see you.